All right, here we are for our third game. We won the die roll. We will play first. Um, this is an excellent hand. We have multiple manic celerities into rhinos, depending on what our opponent's playing. Assuming it's some kind of honest deck, this hand is great. So we're gonna go ahead and keep. Going to get a. We're gonna lead with a basic forest off of the windswept heath. If our opponent's playing something like burn, we definitely want to be preserving our life total. We'll go ahead and get a bird of paradise first. Getting a bird first because if our opponent plays like a 1/1 or something, we may want to be able to play hierarch and attack through it with the bird of paradise with exalted. Given that we may not have use for our mana otherwise. And Sacred Foundry, looks like our opponent is in fact playing burn, and we get bolted. All right. Well, in that case, this is actually a little bit awkward because we drew a basic swamp. I'm going to go ahead and just sack this and also get another basic forest because I don't want to take any painland damage. If our opponent can kill both of the... Oh, our Magic Online is going down. All right, well, thank you for the notice and taking me out of my game to tell me. I'll play both of these. So again, I'm assuming my opponent's playing burn here with just the turn 1 Sacred Foundry Bolt. It's a very shiny bolt, very impressive. Could be playing, blue, white, red or something like that. But right now we have the ability to actually cast a Siege Rhino. That's the reason I got the basic land. If the opponent is not playing burn, is playing something else, the basic could come back and haunt us if he does kill our mana creatures and we don't have the opportunity to play multiple rhinos. But Stomping Ground, okay. Well, hopefully this isn't bolt killing both our guys. Goblin Guide, sure. I'm totally fine with that. And another bolt. I actually always found that when my opponents point burn at my creatures, Path to Exile is revealed. Okay. They never seem to win. I will play Siege Rhino. When they actually burn my mana creatures, I'm just able to usually kill them. I mean, you can burn this Noble Hierarch, but I have a Siege Rhino. Eidolon. Okay. Eidolon is basically suicide against my deck. Because it's not like he can win the game without casting more spells, and I have giant rhinos that are crushing him. So this is actually a matchup that is very, very good for the Will Leaf Leech deck. Like the number of opponents that I've actually had cast Eidolon and attack with it, and when I did not block, just concede because they basically had no hope, is very, very high. And there's concession to Rhino number 2, so can't really complain about that. So we're gonna go with the cyber plan of Canonist, Slaughter Pact, Feed the Clan, and Soren's. I only want one Slaughter Pact, actually. Let's get the second one out of here. Sideboard-wise, we're taking out Lingering Souls. Lingering Souls is just really, really weak. It's low impact. Costs, a lot of mana for what it does. We're taking out both copies of Thoughtseize. This does, again, leave us with a kind of heavy curve here with, this many 4-drops. But against a deck that does have Eidolon of the Great Revel, it's actually not necessarily a bad thing to have, a relatively high curve, as long as you're able to contain the creature damage you're taking in the early turns. We have Voice of Resurgence, which is excellent at stopping Goblin Guide, and then obviously the life gain from Kitchen Finks and Rhino and Soren and Feed the Clan. So I'm pretty happy about that possibility. Maybe I should have boarded Feed the Clan against like Affinity. There's a Feed the Clan. Oh man, the clan is hungry. So basically the only way that I found that I typically lose to burn, the most common way is like Goblin Guide into Searing Blaze. My opponent has now double mulligan, so the likelihood of that happening is very, very low. Burn is a deck that actually typically has a big problem actually recovering from mulligans unless it's able to get in a lot of damage from creatures. He does have a Goblin Guide, which definitely helps a bit. I'm going to open with a Noble Hierarch rather than pathing the Goblin Guide. Again, I'm fine if he uses his burn on my mana creatures, unless it's Searing Blaze. Searing Blaze is brutal because it not only kills my creature, but also gets damage in for him. There's Soren on top of my deck, which is not really super exciting here because I can't cast it yet. I do have the ability to play a Smiter next turn, which I'm going to do. Smiter is pretty problematic for the burn decks. You know, it's too big for them to kill with any individual removal effect, and is, you know, able to turn on something like Feed the Clan, which is very, very powerful. Whoa, okay. He is bolting me. He is in a hurry. Is he going to Rift Bolt me? Alright, I'm at 10. And Lava Spike me. Alright, I'm at 7. You're dead. I'm going to cast Feed the Clan now. Play Voice of Resurgence. Gain 10 life. Oh, Feed the Clan. How mighty you are. The clan is so hungry. It has feasted upon your foolish goblin guides. But yeah, like this just puts, you know, while like something like a ley line is obviously very powerful, Feed the Clan, and we won that, not surprisingly. Feed the Clan is both sufficiently powerful that it's going to win you most of those games that you cast it, and it's a card that your opponent doesn't have, like, you know, isn't like bringing in, you know, stuff like Destructive Revelry. You can strand your opponent's Destructive Revelries by having a card like Feed the Clan as your sort of hate card for burn decks. It's also potentially valuable against things other than straight burn decks, like something like Tribal Zoo. You know, Tribal Zoo, you know, a card like Leyline is going to be really weak in a lot of games against Tribal Zoo because so much of their damage actually comes from creatures, but they're still trying to put together... Go ahead, sneeze. I apologize. They're still trying to put together sort of a critical mass of you know, damage that they can't really necessarily go much beyond in terms of their ability to really sort of, you know, present enough threat to end the game. So if you're looking for, you know, tools against burn decks that may have applications in other sort of aggressive matchups, I think Feed the Clan is a great choice. I haven't been super impressed by Sorin against burn. It does cost 4 mana. Just, you know, because sometimes, you know, you actually don't get to that point. It does, because it costs 4 mana and it's a sorcery, or you can only cast during your main phase. A lot of times your opponent can nullify it with something like Skullcrack or Flames of the Blood Hand, which they already have in order to deal with stuff like Siege Rhino and Kitchen Finks. Whereas Feed the Clan, as a 2 casting cost instant, you can frequently sneak in through, you know, your opponent's tapping out for burn, or just having a window where you can, you know, gain 5 or 10 life, and that's just super, super powerful. So anyway, you know, we beat Infect, we beat Burn, we failed to defeat Affinity. I would say that's pretty expected. I think this deck is a favorite against Infect. Maybe not a favorite, but at least it is it has a solid chance against Infect. I'm actually undefeated against Infect with the deck, which is why it feels to me like I am a favorite in the matchup. It's possible that my 4 matches worth of experience are, you know, not necessarily representative of the way the actual matchup goes. I do feel confident saying the deck is favored against Burn. I've played 6 matches now against Burn, and I'm 4-2. And I actually felt kind of unlucky to lose the ones that I did. But, you know, granted, that's sort of how, you know, any of them are going to go from time to time. Affinity, I do think the deck is probably a bit of a dog against and could possibly use a little bit more sideboard help in order to give it a better shot in that matchup. It's possible that Zealous Persecution, you know, is just... It's a very strong card against the other Lingering Souls decks. It's you know, reasonable against Affinity, but, you know, as we saw there, it wasn't really quite enough. And it's possible that you want more copies of something like Stony Silence or Creeping Corrosion or Fracturing Gust to give you a better shot. So anyway, that is it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the look into Wilt Leaf Abzan once again, and I'll be back with more modern videos sometime soon. I'm gonna put my toes in. I'm like, that's like it is. Dip my toes into Standard pretty soon. Pretty excited to explore that format, and I will be coming back to you with more videos very, very soon. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.